Yeah, people. Back and I'm working on a piece right now. And I guess I wanted to just do a little bit of a conversation while I run over the piece. And show you somewhere along the way the finished work. Maybe in one of my shorts or posting something. I don't know. Somewhere along the way, because I'm sure I'm not gonna finish the entirety of this thing while we talk, but I'm talking about my journey over here, doing my thing. And I wanted to just thank everybody that joined the Cult of Uncle Bobby, one cult member at a time. They're going to get to that point where we could go live, and then take everything on another level, and maybe even get, the people's thoughts while we're doing the shows, while we're doing these, creating better habits, creating better routines. And I want to be part of your daily activities, you know what I'm saying? You're all day, every day, podcaster right now. And I apologize, I'm working conversation while drawing, so I'm getting used to that while not ruining what I'm doing, because sometimes multitasking can be the trickier task out of the two, when your mind is flexing in different directions. But I tend to be good at that. It seems to be something that I was able to just carry into the show. I've had a couple people give me their insight on that, and I'm like, I get it, But once you get comfortable with the way I do things, I'm sure that you'll come around to the spasmodic behaviors that tend to go on and on, in this journey that we call podcasting. As I'm finding myself along the way, not just my audience, but I'm finding my niche. And I like to think that you're helping me get there, with the conversations, with the ideas, with the travel of these episodes as we continue to grow the content on this show. And, I'm not going to go into somebody telling me where's the content at, because again, anything could be content. So I felt that that was kind of, snide remark towards me, but I'm not going to take it so hard. I'm going to get so ever so emotional, Uncle Bobby. But, as I continue to just figure out, different things that people would like to get into. And, I think that drawing is a good way to get through some of the stress in your life. It's an excellent hobby, whether you are, currently good at it or learning to become great at it. I think anybody can draw. I think it's not stuck to just, only certain people. I mean, there are some spectacular artists and different techniques of artistry, but that's the thing about life. You can't compare yourself to everybody else, because then you won't believe in yourself. You won't be doing your own thing, because you're always trying to do what the next person is doing, and maybe that's not your lane. Maybe that's not what you're meant to be doing. Maybe you could learn it. Maybe you could pick it up. But don't break yourself in half trying to do it. Don't kill yourself anyway. Just get good at something. And start learning different techniques. If you want to go into an art school or something and just practice in that, that might help out in your growth of learning to do artistry. Or just take time to practice like every other day, running around with a notepad and some pens and inspiration ready, and just get ready to just draw whenever you feel like you want to do something, whenever you got time. Because I think the more you do something, the more you get better at it over time. That's obvious. Even if you don't get the successes that you look forward to, sometimes you don't do it for that. You gotta just do it for the love, for the passion, for whatever peace of mind or creativity you may get out of it, because that's usually what I do it for. I tend to just go, I don't know, years sometimes when I'm drawing, and then I'll get into it. Something would just catch me. Maybe I'll be on social media, catch an artist doing something amazing, inspiring me to get just back into picking up a pen, or just in general, maybe just sometimes over stress. tend to just like to draw and just forget about things as I put the lines to the paper. I'm having issues with this pen at the moment. It's starting to shit bag up. Do I have a spare? Yes. I was prepared today. I wanted to see if I can rock out a piece, do some coloring, and get a conversation going while we do it. I keep hearing this ice maker that my former co-host Debbie Cakes, bought, and it sounds almost like somebody's listening to music on their phone from afar. And while I'm giving everybody a cheap pop real quick, what's this guy's name? Zaymark. That's ZAYMARQ twice. Is a social designer looking to do some clothing lines. This is not one of his shirts. And yeah, they do their own designs and possibly could do something, original for you. Maybe you could talk about that and the pricing, because I really don't know the settings depending on what kind of material and everything else. So you go and check that out. Also, Blazer85 at Blazer85, my former co-host, definitely doing her blogs, her reviews, from movies to wrestling, the anime con too. She's doing it all. She's running around here, in her spare time. So you can go check her out. And my boy Flip the Beast, and that's FLIPTHABEAST, all in one. You can catch him on all platforms doing the music again. And with that being said, oh yeah, and my sister Connie over there, with the podcast on Spotify as well. The Great Effing Question, if you want to go and check her out. The fine folks from the Great Effing Question, and definitely give them a shout out. Let them know Uncle Bobby gave you the shout out to go check them out. And let them know what do you think about their work. And with that being said, with me getting everybody the cheap pops on the show, I want to know, do they take the time to give me the cheap pop on their show? As I'm constantly popping people on my show, I just want to know, am I guilty of just popping too many people on my show and not getting anything out of that? Nobody's popping me back. And I don't know if that's going to help with the popularity. But again, I don't mind giving, people a little spotlight, and, raising awareness to other programs, because maybe my show is not for you. Maybe one of their shows is going to hit that mark. I don't know, but I mean, I don't think that anybody is doing anything that I couldn't be doing better. But, it's not a contest. We're not supposed to be in competition with anybody, but they say that we're in competition with everybody, with the industry. With the AI and the technology now and everything else, the overreach of government censoring, and, are we able to produce shows that are going to be, pushed out to the public, because we have to worry about an AI interface now, believing in the product. You may believe in your product, you put your time, your effort, and belief that you could do good shows and produce these shows, and then you might not get the exposure that you would like. You might not get the reach that you're looking for whatever reason. Because the internet tends to not want to give you a reach around. Because I don't know. I haven't got to a point where I'm getting the lucrative deals and that spotlight just yet. I don't know if you can hear the residual noise of the dogs in the background just working a tireless mat wrestling contest over there. But again, we're working to see if we're going to get to a point where you get approached, by somebody, some entity, some government officials, some demonic aura, something, subterranean lizard dweller, someone that would possibly possess your skin rights. And people question if that's what happened with The Rock already, because they were like, how the fuck this man lost so much muscle mass and weight already? Is that even Rocky? Did somebody's wish come true? Die, Rocky, die. Maybe the real Rocky is not around with us anymore. Maybe he sold his skin rights, to the lizard people or the government official people. Who knows who's running the show? Really, the Secret Service, the shadow government. But with that being said, is that what gonna happen to me? Is that what they're gonna say happened to Uncle Bobby? Oh, this man over here, this former white back bitch. Only reason he's getting the popularity now is because he's sold out like Katsunat. He's gonna let somebody run up in his shower, have their way with this man. I don't know if it was a case of Katsunat not taking himself too serious. With Ray J recently, I don't know if you were seeing that viral video of Ray J running up in this man's stream in his underwears, trying to just catch this man in the shower. And why was he showering in the stream anyway? I don't get it. And if it was getting that much views and hits, I mean, maybe I need to make an OF page. Maybe I'm doing things the wrong way. Maybe I could just get out there and really make waves. Like this other lady that I was talking about, just forget her name on TikTok. I'm new over there as well, TikTok. But some lady that I'm following on Facebook, and this chick is apparently just flashing her duck lip taco everywhere, eating strawberries out of it. I talked about it a little bit. Getting so much steam over here, getting so much popularity. Even she's like, my thought things shouldn't be this popular. Or should it? And is it? And have you seen it already? I don't know, but we want to know in the comment sections. Have you gotten into any issues looking at this woman on the Facebook? Women are starting to get awareness of this woman flashing her toto all over the place. Any platform that she can get away with it, really, possibly. I don't know. At this point. But are you impressed if you've seen it? Would you give it a shot? She's talking about selling it though, so now you want to question legalities of taking a risk with it. But she's putting it out there. She's saying that she's selling it, so you know what you're getting into, folks. And apparently this OF page is going crazy as well. And I may be guilty of giving this woman some exposure. But you know what? I might as well, because this lady exposed herself, several times, and I've enjoyed them all the times that it's happened. I'm waiting for another time for it to happen. But until the next time it happens, I'm just gonna continue to rep this lady, in her ventures to get out there, and get everybody a taste of her taco, because that's what she wants. She wants everybody to enjoy it. But she wants it to retain his retention and, availability to keep those lips tight. Even though she said somebody stretched them out just the other night. I don't know. But, that's just the way things are. Sometimes you gotta, put your body on the line for some of the things that you want. She wants to get out of the hotel room. She doesn't want to have to post up a Christmas tree inside the hotel. I don't blame her. I spent Christmas in a hotel with, Dr. Z before we got married. And it wasn't the best experience. I would even say there was a time where I was like, oh, this sucks, because we didn't enjoy the holidays. She fell asleep. There's a whole bunch of stuff that happened. But again, those are things that you have to go through sometimes in life. Sometimes you have to go through them hard times. Sometimes you got to go through them lonely times. Sometimes you don't have anybody to spend your time with. And that can mentally affect you. Some people act like it doesn't bother them. Or, some people are good with their time by themselves. But you don't want to spend every waking moment of your time by yourself, obviously. You would like to have somebody to kill some time with. Somebody to make a connection with. And, that's why we're here, making these programs to not only just talk about whatever's interesting at the time or what's happening with the internet, but to also make a connection, to have a place to go to, where everybody will soon know your name. It's not just about my name, my sandwich, but maybe we can get a sandwich made in your name too. Possibly your story being told if you want that. Some people don't want their story being told, and I understand not everything is meant to be, disclosed. Exposed. Some things are meant to be undisclosed. So with that being said, it's up to you of what part of that do you want to be. In the future growth of this show, where we typically plan to take some of these ideas, and hopefully take them to another level. Run away with them, if you will. And take them to a better place. And so far, let me show you what I'm. Well, let me do one more thing before I do that. Bam. All right. For now, so far, I'm trying to keep track of this picture a little bit. Again, I don't think I'm gonna finish it while we're here because it might take a while. I don't think that I want to do that, but maybe we could do that in the live. I'm looking to just figure out, some good content to come forward with, but at the same time, I want to do stuff that I like to do. So, we're waiting for the people to get back. We're waiting for the numbers, the statistics, the algorithm, the data, squiggly line going all the way to tippy top to show us, more or less what can we do to provide you with interesting conversation, with interesting videos, subject matters. I'm looking to take ideas from the fans. What kind of stuff do you want me to do? What kind of drawings do you want me to do? You have any ideas? Again, I'm doing these folded drawings because of one of the fans that gave me the idea, and I did one, and I thought it was pretty badass, even if I didn't think I did my best. So I'm trying to just bring a creative area to this other piece right now and see what we can get with it. And then I'll post that finishing product over there. And then you could let me know, what do you think about the picture, and maybe we can get art class going with some of these lives. I do want to have conversations. I do want to do a ton of things. But we're taking everything one show at a time, one idea at a time. Maybe it's a good one, maybe it's a bad one. I don't know. Let me get some of this aviation. Wait, what is it called? A dry aromatic aviation crafted with Larios. Larios. I don't know what the fuck that is. Oh, it's gin. Let me get a little shot because my bourbon bottle is not near me, and then I have another one somewhere. I don't want to kill it all because, again, you have to take medicine. Streamline the incident. And you don't have an incident while you're doing that. But again, on the rocks, the aviation, you should think about fucking with your uncle. Maybe this is gonna get you a little bit more promotions over here. Maybe a couple of more shots. Being handed around the only adult time drink to go with the only adult time conversation right now. I was talking a little bit about the drawing and everything else, but I did want to talk about Robert Downey Jr. and Ryan Reynolds supposedly having this beef over here over the filming of this movie. Seems to be getting some buzz. It's making a lot of steam. So I don't know what it is. Initially, I heard a little bit of talk, like it's like, oh, Robert Downey Jr. was telling this man to stop being such a clown on set. I don't know if there was an issue with the filming and the improvising and the control freak nature of some of these actors that you tend to hear, about. And especially with everything that they say that he does have a toxic behavior on set. These are things that they talked about before. I've talked about this before on the other show. We were talking about The Rock's behavior on some of these movie sets, and the way he was treating his VPs. urinating in their boss bottles before they finish drinking from it. Forcing them to hold these bottles for him. Hold my fucking boss bottle. Hold your boss bottle for me, the final boss. So look, they're urinating your bottle. But can he do it now that he's lost so much weight? I don't know. Hollywood is crazy. I've talked about, trying to make my way into Hollywood. Maybe we're gonna do that. Maybe we're gonna figure it all out, and maybe I can make shows and explain, all the rituals and the blood off and the sacrifices and the aliens and DNA and the RNA and Inu and everything else you want to know. Do they make deals with interdimensional beings? Is it the devil? Do I have to take my blood and sacrifice somebody that I love? I don't know. But until we figure that out, till we get some answers around here, I guess we're gonna keep circling around the internet's fascination and talking about another, conversation with the internet's fascination. They're talking more about Drake and his obsession with Rhea Ripley, as I can imagine Drake just going on social media. Oh, let me get to my phone here. Hold on. Oh, let me go to Facebook. It's Rhea Ripley. She's in a bikini. They're showing her ass cheeks. Hold on. This man is a fucking crazy guy. He's doing the stuff from that guy from the Korn concert that recently was taking over the internet. I don't know what's happening with everybody. But hopefully you're having a great day. Hopefully you're having a great time. And, hopefully you're going to continue to follow, becoming cult members and letting more people know about these shows. You could share these episodes. I don't know if you could download. I guess you could, but nobody really does these days from Facebook. From YouTube that I know of. But what do I know? I haven't done the data, the statistics, the numbers, the algorithm. Checking on that squiggly line going all the way to the tippy top. But till I get there, hopefully you fine folks over here will acknowledge me. And hopefully you enjoyed this little bit of an installment with Drawing with Uncle Bobby. I would like to spend more time and draw more of this piece out, but I'm going to bring you the finished product somewhere along the way throughout this day as I tend to take a couple of more shots, enjoy a little bit more cannabis, and possibly, work on an audio on Spotify. I don't know. I'm dealing with TikTok, Facebook, Spotify, YouTube, obviously. I'm all over the place. I'm looking to be a familiar voice and a familiar face. Even if sometimes I tread in unfamiliar areas. But we're going to get better as we continue to go and grow together, as I remind you, I'm looking to get bigger and later with the Avania larger. And as I continue to take over the internet, and the Wi-Fi and the fiber optics, as we continue to, take over this thought of going global here, Poland, Thailand, Taiwan, Korea, North Korea, South Korea, pretty much Little Italy, all of Italy, Spain, Peru, Portugal, Argentina, Mexico, Canada, Australia, Puerto Rico, anywhere that YouTube could be found. I like to think that Uncle Bobby is breaking the language barrier down, and I like to think that I could be a part of your adult time talk conversation. And hopefully, I'm going to be a part of that conversation. Hopefully, I'm looking to be a part of your personal growth as, you grow on me. Hopefully, I grow on you. And as an influentially, excuse me, I'm sorry, let me run that back. As an influencer with influence, influencing, possibly causing an influenza. I like to think that like a flu, I'm spreading around and I'm very contagious, and hopefully I'm getting around word of mouth. I'd like to continue to do this. Like a Madonna, like a Cher, like a Bette Midler, like a Danny DeVito, like a Danny Glover, like a Dolly Parton, like a Sigourney Weaver, like a Ernie Ernesto, like a Ernie Hudson, like a Rosetta Scotto. Because again, I'm looking to do this for a long time. We could talk about like a Sylvester Stallone. We could talk about, like a Arnold Schwarzenegger, but then we'd possibly be going into treading into pulverizing figures, and I don't think that I want to get into that right now. Not just quite right now. Hopefully, you've been having a good time. Hopefully, you're going to continue to catch up. As I remind you, for the morning, afternoon, or whenever we catch you. Forget about it.